In the city of Port Harcourt, there lived a beautiful girl called Ada. She was 9 years old. She was the only child to her parents. Ada's father was a very busy businessman who could not spend time with his child. He came home after Ada had slept and was off to office before Ada woke up in the morning. Ada's mother too was a doctor who was always on and off from the hospital, so she was always left in the care of her helpers. Ada yelled for his parents' attention. She wanted to go outdoors and play with her parents just like her friends. A few times, it's the nanny that normally take her out, and she never enjoyed it because the park was always filled with other children's parents. One day, Ada said to her nanny, Grace, those parents that normally bring their kids to the park, they don't go to work? Grace couldn't answer. She smiled and hugged her. Grace was an understanding woman and caring woman who has noticed the sadness in Ada's face whenever she sees other children with their parents, while her own parents were always busy at work. Though Ada had 4 nannies, Grace was the best among them. Grace was even the last person they employed, yet she was the best. Grace saw Ada's parents' lapses immediately she entered the family. Since then, she'd been trying all her best to cover up everything, but it was not easy for her anyways. When Grace came into the family, she noticed there was nothing like fun for a child. There was no party, there was no game. Ada was never taken to park to play. She didn't know how to swim. All the basic things a child is supposed to do at her age, Ada was never allowed to. It took Grace a whole lot of time before she was able to convince Mr. Obina and Mrs. Ego before they allowed her to take Ego out. When Grace introduced swimming, they were fully against it. But later on, they accepted. By the time Ada clocked 7 years, she was able to swim very well. Ada even won her school swimming competition at the age of 7, all thanks to Grace. So, Grace was able to introduce so many fun games and fun activities for Ada so that she could feel better. Yet, Ada was not satisfied. She still needed her parents' companion. Grace tried to explain to Mrs. Ego, Ada's mom, in several occasions, but she never listened. Everything we are doing is for her to live a better life in the future. We don't have another child yet. And we don't know if we are eventually going to end up with just her. And it's fine. So you can see we are doing everything for her and her future. We are struggling to provide for her to give her the luxury life she deserves. When she grows, she will understand better, she said. I hate it when people try to think that doing too much, we are doing everything intentionally. We have to work for her to have a better life, said Mrs. Ego, replied angrily. Mrs. Ego, so at this point, Grace has decided not to ever bring the issue again because she doesn't want to lose her job. She's a widow with 2 kids and they depend on that salary to survive. So at this point, she said, I would never bring up this matter again, but I would do my best to make sure Ada is fine. Ada's parents have never attended any of her school activities. PTA meetings, open day, school parties were all attended by their numerous nannies. There was a time Ada's headmistress called Mrs. Ego because of the same thing. She got angry and threatened to remove her child from their school if she called her for the same issue again. The school fees is over 2 million naira. If we don't work, how do you expect us to pay? She hissed and ended the call. The headmistress murmured. One day, Ada was surprised to see her father at home in the evening. Dad, it is a big surprise to see you at home, Ada said. Yes, my child. My meeting was cancelled, so I'm at home. But after 2 hours, I have to catch a flight, her father replied. When will you be back? Ada said. Tomorrow. No. Ada was in deep thought for a while. Then she asked again, Dad, how much do you earn in a year? Ada's father was taken aback. He said, My dear, it is a very big amount and you won't be able to understand it. Okay, Dad. Are you happy with the amount you earn? Yes, my dear, I'm very happy. And in fact, I'm planning to launch our new branch and a new business in few months. Is it that great? Yes, Dad. I'm happy to hear that. Can I ask you one more question? Yes, dear. Dad, can you tell me how much you earn in a day or even half a day? Ada, why are you asking this question? Ada's father was surprised, but Ada was persistent. Please answer me. Can you please tell me how much you earn in an hour? Ada's father gave in and replied, It should be around 100,000 naira. Ada ran to her room upstairs and came down with her piggy bank that contained her savings. Dad, I don't know how much I have in my piggy bank, but take everything. Can you spare 2 hours for me? I want to go to the beach and have dinner with you tomorrow evening. Can you please mark this in your schedule? Ada's father was speechless. He couldn't hold himself any longer. Tears started gushing down his eyes. That moment he hugged Ada, kissed her and apologized to her for all the time they have been absent in her life. He promised to change. When Ada's mom returned, Ada's father, Mr. Obina, told her everything. She was also very sad. Ada's mom, Mrs. Ego, said, with all the luxury life she has, she's still not satisfied. Indeed, the greatest gift parents can ever give their children is time. Money can't buy everything. We have to find time to spend with her. Not just find time, we have to create quality time to spend with our daughter. She's our only child for now. I don't want to lose her in future. I don't want her to think I hate her. I don't want her to think I hate her too, Ada's father replied. Mrs. Ego used to work in 2 hospitals. She dropped one immediately. She resigned from one immediately the next day. And Mr. Obina also replanned his work schedules. They were able to spend good time with their daughter Ada. Ada was very happy and they lived happily ever after.